Hey guys, today I want to show you a piece that I've written that I want to play under my YouTube intros. It goes like this. Okay, well here we are in the session, and of course the first thing to note is that the reference track is of course Sherlock Holmes by Hans Zimmer, which sounds like this. And so that was my temp track, and I really love how energetic it is, how tight and close and punchy it is, and so I wanted to recreate that. And so I started in, and I started writing for an hour one day, and I thought it sounded pretty good. And I came back the next day, and I listened to it again, and I said, wait a second, this doesn't sound at all like the temp music that is, like, it's how it's supposed to, like as far as the sound and the feeling and the vibe, which is what temp music is supposed to help you with. And so, you know, why did this happen? It's because the music that I usually write is symphonic. It's, you know, you're an audience in a hall, and it's a bit distant, and it's very sophisticated and all that stuff. So let me give you an example of what my music usually sounds like. Which is lovely, but then compare it to what I ended up with. Now, the crazy thing about this is that this is the same MIDI data. Nothing's changed, and it's also the exact same virtual instrument libraries too. So what changed? How did I get such a difference? Well, let's take a look. Let's bring them up side by side, actually. So this is my original. This is what I usually use for symphony sound, and then this on the right is the new close-up punchy stuff. So the first thing to notice is that the mic mix has changed. So usually I just put it on mix and call it good. Over here I have taken off the mix. I've used spot the close mics 1 and 2, and then I've also used main, but I've actually lowered it down from where it usually is. So usually it's about up right here, but I've lowered it down so that the kind of more of the decatree, probably the decatree microphone is a little less prominent. So it's mostly just the close mics. The other thing, and I've done this same mic changing with the solo first violin as well. So usually I just have it on mix, and here I've put it on the close and the main. And then the other thing I've done is that I've increased the volume of the solo. So that this is at, 5.6, and this is at about 0. And then comparatively, this is now way down at -10, and the ensemble strings usually are -6-ish. So big change there. And then the other change that I've done is that I've added this plugin called OTT. And if you don't know about this, it's a pretty fantastic plugin. It is a free thing, so you can get it for free from Extra Records. And what it does, it's a multi-band compressor. All I do with it, I load it up and I just change the depth, and that's all I touch. It starts at 100. I never go above 30, and here I've got it at 25. And so let me show you the difference. Here is this without OTT. And let me put it on. So it just makes it feel a bit more aggressive. Like the violinist that's playing this was angry that day. And that's exactly what I'm going for. And so, you know, this is a big change that I made pretty much across the ensemble. So if you just listen to the ensemble strings, it sounds like this. And then I also added some extra solo strings, so it sounds like this. So, pretty cool. You know, for a guy that only writes symphonic music, I'm pretty proud of it. I think it sounds pretty good. I took some of these tracks, I saved them into my master template so I can have them ready to go if I want to for the next piece that I write. So that's cool. The next thing to look at, if there's one instrument that really makes this sound like the temp track, like Sherlock Holmes, then it's the dulcimer, which is here. And then down here at the bottom, you have all the percussion. It actually is kind of a groove that doesn't change the whole time. You have the surdos here from the amazing Heaviosity Damage 2, which I use all the time. Here's Doles, which I just cannot stop using. And I've actually changed the mic mix on this one. So it starts out like this. And then I made it nice and close. After that, trash can, sticks, and rods. Then we have tiki-takas from good old Action Strikes from Native Instruments. And then Damage 1 woods, because Damage 2 doesn't really have woods. So all together, the percussion... Oh, and I also have, of course, timpani. And then put them together. And like I said, it really doesn't change. It's a groove and it goes the entire way through. So, all the percussionists out there, I'm sorry. I know that you can, make percussion parts a lot more interesting. For this piece, the aural interest really comes from all of the pitched instruments, the rest of the ensemble. So anyways, the only time that I really start to bring in other instruments is here at the end. I only have one little bit of brass, these trumpets here. And then I have this kind of building woodwind section. So here's kind of the end of it. So there you go. I feel like you can really start to hear my symphonic background here at the end, especially with the piccolo. Like these woodwinds really start to break out of the Sherlock Holmes sound and sound more like a symphony. So anyways, there's the piece. It was lots of fun to write. I don't get to write a ton of stuff on the side that I can actually share. So this is really fun for me to get to share it. Most of the stuff that I write is for my day job, my 9 to 5, and I've got NDA about that. So not a whole lot that I can say about it. So this is really great that I get to share this. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.